back to Stitching Big Things with Hallie. I'm Hallie. Thanks so much for joining me again today. Today is Friday, September 19th, 2025. I'd like to welcome everybody. If you are new to the channel, this is a channel about cross stitch, so hopefully you are in the right place. And if you are a returning friend, thank you so much for spending your time with me, and so good to see you again. If you are new, everything is time-stamped down below in the drop-down box. So if you, so things we're going to talk about today, I'm going to talk a little bit about last week's video. I'm going to share some whips. I'm going to talk about the retreat that I was on this last 2 weeks. So everything will be time-stamped. If you want to jump around, by all means do that. I will also probably at the end of the video show the brag table. You guys, this is one of the best brag tables. I do have to say, my fault. People started leaving early. And so a few things had disappeared off the brag table, but some of the most fantastic stuff was still there. And so I jumped up and quick did a video. So there is a few holes in the video of where things were laying on the table, but you'll get the gist, and that will be dropped in at the end of the video. So it'll all be time-stamped. So let's get to talking. First of all, if you were with me 2 weeks ago when I shared about my full coverage fail that I had, and I asked for, I was feeling very alone in my failure. And I said, hey, if you guys have ever had a situation where things didn't go quite as you expected, you had maybe what you considered a failure, share it with me. Let's all of us unite in our humanity. And it was wonderful. And if you have time, go back and look through the, if you haven't watched that video, of course, go back and watch last week's video or 2 weeks ago video. But then watch the comments. So they're fantastic. I am not alone. Sounds like very, very many people have had similar situations, had different situations. And certainly, you know, I know that just a few of you shared, and there's a lot out there that didn't share and have had the same situation. So it made me feel not so alone. So thank you guys for that. I also thank you for the many, many, many suggestions I had on how to not restart this. I don't know how many people, I had people texting me, I had people emailing me, hey, have you thought about doing this? Hey, have you thought about doing that? You all are so sweet. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all of your suggestions. I know myself, and that project is a big project. I think it's a max color, so it is going to take me a long time, probably 10 plus years if I ever get it done. And yes, I could, you know, I guess the most predominant one was cut off part of the bottom. Don't worry about it. Just, you know, keep going, and where it ends, it ends. Well, I mean, that's okay, but that's just not going to settle well with me. And every time I pick this up, I'm going to be irritated with this particular project. And while I think they're great and certainly valid recommendations, I just know for me, it would just not settle well. So thank you, thank you, thank you for thinking of me, offering suggestions. I did evaluate each and every one of them just to make sure, you know, could you really do this? No, you're going to be irritated. You're going to be unhappy every time you pull out that stitch. And I want to love what I stitch, and I want to be happy with it. So thank you again for your recommendations. And hopefully maybe by next year, we'll get that one restarted and get it moving back along. So okay, let's go ahead and talk whips. I have a good number of things to show you today. So let's get started. The first one, if you guys did see last video, you do know that I was working on Red Maple Fairy. Red Maple Fairy is a Jasmine Beckett Griffith design, and it is charted by Haid. I am stitching this on 20 count easy grid fabric, 1/2, 2/1, 2 threads over 1 square, 2/1. And I did put in a few more stitches on this because I was moving along with it. I did want to continue. I put in 1,999. If I'd have just added them up, I'd have put one more stitch, but I didn't. So that is where I'm at. I still have threads hanging on it. And let me show you, here is where I ended up. If I remember correctly, I pretty much had the black all done last time. And so I added a bunch of this orange and I started into the red because these are the big, as you can see, here's a big leaf. I think this is going to be another leaf over here. So we are underneath her now and we're showing, I think this is her shoulder, if I'm remembering correctly. So it's exciting to see that leaf start to take shape. I am at this point. Let me show you before and after so you can see. So there you go. I am at 69.71%. So chunking along pretty well. Need to keep it progressing. Then also on last video, I had also commented about the Nativity. The Nativity is a Donna Gelsinger project that is also charted by Haid. I am stitching this on 25 count easy grid fabric, stitching it 1/1. And at the time I showed you that, guys, that it was on the scroll rods, and I explained about how it just was bugging my shoulder. And I just wanted to put in some more full coverage stitches before I took off for the retreat. So I moved it onto a Q-snap. So much happier that I have now done this. So I moved it onto the Q-snap, got it all settled, and I added 822 additional stitches all down here in this blue. And so now it is at 5.69%. So let me show you a before and after. So you can take a peek where those were and bring it in so you guys can get a real good look. So super happy about that. Really happy to start making. I think we've got maybe the head of a Wiseman here. I can't remember exactly what's over here, but that gives me a distinct hat shape. So I'm super excited. We're starting to maybe get to some of the fun stuff. I mean, not that this isn't fun. I mean, look, this tree is absolutely fantastic when you start bringing it in and you really get a good look. It's fantastic. So yeah, great. Super happy to have that one on something that just works better with the way I'm made and the way I stitch. So after that, it was time to pack up for my trip and to head out. And so I needed to pack things that could easily go along on my trip. So first thing I took with me, I took it on the airplane, is Legal High. Legal High is a long dog sampler project. I am stitching this, sorry, I got my notes here. So I'm stitching this on a 32 count Lugana in the colorway Spending Amnesia from Mystic Fabrics. I am stitching this 1/2 with Splendor 838, and I'm using Splendor 1082 as accent color. So this is the main color, and this is going to be the accent color for the middle area where I just want to switch in hue. So I was able to add in, I don't need to unravel this. I can leave it kind of folded up because it's in a pretty good position, but then I unravel it. I added in 844 stitches between the travel day and the next day. And sorry, I still have a thread here. Here is where I ended up. So super, super happy about that. Really nice to get that corner done. Now I can start moving my way down, because it's once I get down here that I get to use both of those colors. So let me put those on here so you can see. Let's do it correctly. So this is the main color that I'm stitching, and then this will be the little darker accent color. So super happy. I think it's really gonna pop on that cut on that fabric. You know me, I love a good long dog. It's been a joy to stitch. I am at 3.19%. I have obviously a long way to go. Good thing I don't have a short time to get there. Loved working on that. Then I had also, because you know, I pack stuff that's easy to take. So I pulled out another long dog for the next day, and that is Saint Sylvester. This is as I said, it's a long dog sampler. I am stitching this on Under the Sea Fabrics Heaven's Fury, and I am stitching it 1/2 with Soie d'Alger silk, and my accent is going to be a silk lame braid. So let me wind this back up. So silk lame braid and Soie d'Alger. And here is where I ended up. So loving this, love that this, let me pull this back so you can get a before and after. I pretty much stitched all of this down here. So, and while I'm loving this, I'm not so sure about this silk lame braid. In comparison, this looks so fresh and small and dainty because it's just one thread. This looks really bulky and bunchy. So I don't know, we're gonna just keep going, and I may switch this out for something else, but right now I'm super happy with the main color. So, and I do love it, like when I pull it back like this, when you're not looking at it like up close, I do love it. I do love that little bit of sparkle. I think it's gonna be perfect with this fabric, and it'll help make everything jump off. But we will see. We're gonna just keep working on it, and eventually we will either pull it out and stitch it with something else, or we'll keep on keeping on. So then I had taken some new starts with me, and this first one, I don't have them quite in my, I haven't taken all the pictures yet, so I'm just gonna hold up the thing. Ignore my notes, because that was how much I needed for fabric and all that good stuff. This is the Naughty List. I'll bring it in so you can see. It's just something cute. I bought this years ago. I still love it. And I thought that would be quick and easy, an easy stitch, fun to do, all that good stuff. This is by Dina Carter from Cherry Hill Stitchery. I think I got it online. So the Naughty List. So, and it says, it's all fun and games until Santa checks the naughty list, which is fun. So I am stitching this on 32 count Swiss Coffee by Color and Cotton. And of course, using all the DMC colors, which there's just a few. And I just got a good start on the middle. So pretty much started in the middle. This is gonna barely take up this, this fold part. So I will have plenty of this Swiss Coffee left to stitch something else on. So, but happy. This stitched up super fast. This was 575 stitches. I don't know why, that was the first day of the retreat. I don't know if it was because I was chatty, if I was tired, I don't know. But apparently I was up and moving around a lot. And of course we went, you know, had lunch and dinner. So I didn't get a whole lot of stitching done. I mean, 575 is nothing to balk about, but for me, one would think that, that's a lower number of stitches for me. So, but we will get that moving along. Super happy to have that. On that fabric, I also had a second one. I had taken that fabric because I thought I was going to put this on it as well. This was the next new start. This is Blooming Bouquets number 3, which is Joyful from Jeanette Douglas. This was what I was going to put on here because I thought, okay, if I go a little darker, maybe those whites will pop. And I think they probably would have, but as I was stitching on this, you can see this is just B5200, and they do, it does come off. It washes out a little bit here. You can actually see them a little better in person. But as I was kind of thinking about it the next day, I thought, you know, I wonder if I put this on a different color fabric so those whites will pop. So I went down and looked in the annex, and I was able to find what I think turned out to be the perfect color. That is a Fabrics by Stephanie fabric, and it is in the colorway Friendship Green. And here is where I am at. I didn't get to any place where you could see the whites, but I am sure they're going to pop off this little green. And I pulled the greens, of course I had them all separated, and I pulled the greens and put them on here, and they had no problems. The greens didn't have a problem with this. The only one that might be a problem is this Joyful down at the bottom. And that's okay, because I could do that in a different color. I could put it in the yellow, I could put it in the gold, I could put it in the red. We'll deal with that word when we get there. But I was loving it. You could really see those golds just pop right off. Those reds were fantastic. Super happy to have that started. You guys may or may not know about my love of poinsettias. I love a good red flower. I love a poppy. I love a poinsettia, all of that. So super happy to have that one started. I actually, not this year, but the year before at StitchCon, bought this pack, and they had the thread packs. And you know me, listen, if I can buy a thread pack and I can have everything ready to go and all I have to do is find fabric, like just take my credit card, take all my money, like I am 100 times more likely to buy something if it has a thread pack with it. So this came with the thread pack, and I am super happy with my color choice. So that one will continue to grow over time. So happy with those two new starts. And then I had taken one more long dog, and I thought, I'm just going to go back. I want to get some good stitches in on Pandemic. Pandemic is a long dog sampler. And I figured the last day I could work on this a little bit, and it would be easy traveling home because it's just a couple colors. And it was. I am stitching this on a 20 count Zweigart fabric. In the colorway Deep Red that has been hand dyed by XJU Designs. I am also stitching this with silk of hers that she hand dyed in the colorway Steel. And then I'm using 310 as my accent color. So here is, sorry, I was mid-stitch, so it's still attached to my fabric. And here's how I do it. I have showed you guys this in the past. This is a little thread keep from Crafty Emily that I ordered from her, and I absolutely love it. It's great. I think I put 2 or 3 sets of threads on here, and then I'm just able to pull off. I don't even have to dig anything out on the airplane, so it makes it super easy. And over here is where I stitched. I basically had got down to here. There was a little bit of this up here. Let me do a before and after so you can see. Basically finished this little flowery type thing, and the little leaves of that came down, and then pretty much stitched all over here. So on this guy, I added in 1081. So happy to have that moving along. 56.77%. So very happy about that. We're getting, just getting more stitches. So Then I was home. Of course, you know, it always takes a day or two to kind of reacclimate, get caught up on things at home. And when I sat down to stitch, I decided it was, again, time to pull out more full coverage. So I had not worked on No Smoking by Randall Spangler. Randall Spangler is the designer. It's charted by Haid. I'm stitching this on a 20 count easy grid fabric. I'm stitching it 2 threads over 1, and I am mid thread. I have a few hanging threads. These are Parks threads that I need to work in. This is the color that I was working on, as you can see by what I have held here. Let me pull this back so you can get a view on my progress. I basically worked through the letters and added in a bunch more. 942 stitches. So I am currently at 13.90%, and really having fun with this one. As you can see, we've got the letters for No Smoking, and we can start to see now that these are the smoke trails that are coming out of the nostrils of the dragon, which is fun. It's fun to start to see, you know, some of those things coming to life. So happy to have gotten some stitches on that. I am not done. I am going to continue stitching on that today and probably for the next couple days, because I would love to get a few more 1,000 stitches into that before I put it away. So you guys will be seeing that again. Okay, that pretty much wraps it up for whips. Pretty good. We had 21 minutes. I mean, I talked a little bit at the beginning, but you know, a good 18 minutes of whips. That's great. If you are not interested in listening about the retreat, thank you so much. It was great to check in with you guys. I will not be back in 2 weeks. I'm going to be back in 3 weeks. My husband and I are taking a little trip away from the children's. I know. For those of you who don't know, my youngest is a senior in high school, and my oldest basically rents his room from us. He works full time and is living with us to save up his money to invest in some real estate. So as long as he's a good tenant, we're happy to have him, and he's 25. So, and you know, with our youngest being a senior, listen, I've had 4 boys, and I'm like, at this point, if I can't leave you and you're getting ready to go to college, there's a problem. But I'm really happy that we have basically an adult in the house if something goes terribly sideways. So, so anyway, we're leaving the children. I'm so excited, and we're going to take, our anniversary was this week. We have been married 30 years. I'm like, what? How did we get to 30 years? I'm like, we blinked and here we are. And I tease him. I'm like, I don't look like we've been married 30 years. I'm not sure what happened on your side. And he just laughs. So anyway, so we are excited to get away, excited to have some time together to just explore a little bit, relax a whole lot, read. This is a vacation trip. This is not a trip where we're doing a lot of excursions, but I will come back and chat with you, hopefully have some pictures to show you on the next video. But it will be 3 weeks, because I know I'm not going to get a whole lot of stitching. I will take stitching on the plane. And, you know, maybe at the end of the night, I will do a little bit of stitching, but I'm not stitching at the pool area or on excursions. I'm just not going to do that. We're going to read, we're going to relax, we're going to enjoy each other, have fun time together. But, you know, at the end of the night, as you're kind of winding down, you're watching some videos, you can stitch a little. So I imagine a few hundred stitches maybe at most every night. So I wanted to give myself an extra week to have plenty to share with you guys. And by then we will have September numbers all wrapped up and be deep into October. So if you are not sticking around for further conversation, thank you so much. And we'll see you guys in 3 weeks. Okay. So let's talk Stitching in the Wild. Stitching in the Wild was held in Montgomery, Alabama. It is hosted by Garon Stitchery. I will link them down below. I'm sure all of you guys know Gary and Ronnie and their shop. We went last year. I say we because my friend Dee Dee and I, we met there and went to their retreat last year. We signed up last year to go this year. And really enjoyed it. The one thing we didn't get to do was we wanted to go to Gary and Ronnie's shop in Ozark, Alabama, and we didn't have time last year. So this year we added an extra day on and we took time to go down to the shop, which was super fun. I bought a few things, so I will be showing that here in a little bit, but I wanted to talk, just general about what happened. Had some great table mates this year. As always, my friend Dee Dee was there and my friend Chris, who was all the way, I've known Chris for a few years now, and her and I stitch very similar things. We have somewhat similar tastes, I think. We're very eclectic in what we like to stitch. We do all kinds of things. She is not scared of a big project either, which I love. So I've known her since the very first StitchCon. So it was super good to see her again, have time to catch up, have time to talk about our families, all of that. Chris brought a friend Vicky, who is like a long lost friend to me as well. So that was super fun. And then we had Lynn at our table, who was just a doll. Very entertaining, super fun, and great to get to know. She is actually from the area, so that was very helpful. And Denise, who was also from the area. So that was nice. And she didn't stay at the hotel. Her husband worked downtown, so she came back and forth and was just with us for most of the days, and then would go home in the evenings. So if any of you gals see this, it was super fun sitting at the table with you. And I look forward to continuing our friendship and maybe encountering you guys again. So as always, we did very typical things. We did a lot of stitching. There was a smalls exchange. There was a raffle where we collected money for, specifically, Gary and Ronnie love to donate to St. Jude and to Shriners Hospital. So there was a large raffle table. And lots of things that you could buy raffle tickets for. I won 2, which I will show you here in just a bit. I won 2 of the raffle items, which was fun. And then we had a wonderful donation from a sweet friend. I actually know who it was, but she wanted to remain anonymous. It was not me. That donated a copy of a absolute pristine copy of Lady of the Flag. And they donated that and asked that all of those proceeds be shuttled to the Wounded Warriors Project. So there was two kind of raffles, which was super fun. And that one collected a lot of money. I can't remember. I think the Shriners and St. Jude were each getting just over 1,000. And I can't remember. Lady of the Flag brought a lot too. It was over 1,000, maybe 1,800. I mean, it was a lot. People had really put in a lot of money to get Lady of the Flag, which is great. So, and they did have one very happy winner, which was wonderful. So that was all great. Of course, they had an annex that was open with fun things to buy, which I did buy. And I also told you that we went to the shop, so there will be some shop things in there as well. And we also had of course, the brag table, which was fantastic. Now, I had an epic fail in that regard because I had told you guys at the beginning of the year last year when I finished Cookie Fairy, that my goal was to take her to all the retreats, and then I was going to bring her home and get her framed because if I framed her, I couldn't take her on the airplane with me. I forgot her. And I didn't even think about it until the morning of the retreat when I woke up and I was getting ready. And I'm like, oh no, I forgot Lady of the Flag. So she didn't make the brag table. That is okay. There was plenty of full coverage on the brag table. That was fantastic. And I'm going to go ahead and get her framed so we can have her here in my house to enjoy. So very, very nice retreat. Excellent. I mean, Gary and Ronny go out of their way to make sure that everyone's comfortable, everybody's happy, anything you need is taken care of, which is fantastic. But let me show you some of the things I purchased. Now, I don't know, maybe I was feeling a little, I don't know, that I just wanted to buy a few things, because I actually bought a few patterns like the day before I left. And these are a little bigger patterns, so they you know, they go along with the theme of the channel. But let me show these real quick first, and then I'll show you everything I got with them, since I did get these first. If you know me, you guys know that I love a good nutcracker. So I did buy the Shannon Christine Designs Nutcracker Collection. I have eyed this for a while, and I decided that what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch these all individually as ornaments and make them ornaments for my tree. So some of the bigger ones I'll do on like a higher count. So they're a little smaller, they're not quite so big, but they're all going to be ornament sized, which will be great. And then, because she does a nutcracker of the year. Yeah, just keep taking everything I have. Here is 2023. I got it. I got 2024, which I think is my absolute favorite of all these three, and 2025. And I have seen people, and these are, listen, typical Shannon Christine. We've got lots of blingy and lots of beady. So these will all get started very shortly as well. My intention for these is to do stand-ups. I have a whole area that I have nutcrackers. In fact, I'm almost, as over the years, as I've collected ones and added to my collection, I'm almost out of the area that I put them in, so I might have to find a new area. But I would love to do these and do them as stand-ups and put them in with the other nutcrackers that are in that general area. So got those, loved those. And then I must have been feeling the Christmas feel, because I also got from Stitches So Beautiful, I got the Steampunk Christmas Fairy, which I love that look, but I also love a good snow globe. I have a huge not a huge collection, but I have a lot of snow globes, and those all kind of go here in my office with some other, with the snowmen. I love snowmen and snow globes. And so when I saw her and all of her beautiful wings, her beautiful skirt, it just spoke to me. And then this gal, like, she's me. I think her and I are very similar, and I absolutely loved her. Yule Goddess number 4. So I have a feeling that, and this one on my printer printed it fairly dark. It feels dark to me than the original, but yeah, I have a feeling her and I will be meeting very shortly, because I love her. So those were some things I purchased ahead of the retreat, and then things I got at the retreat. Okay. Got a whole stack here, so let's move them over. This, I need to adjust this up just a little bit, because I don't want to show. This has the picture, and it has, this is the thing. This was an exclusive from Hands On Design. It will be probably a year before this is released. This is Hollow Wreath. So sweet little Halloween wreath, which I absolutely adored. And because Gary and Ronny know me, you could get all the goodies. So fabric, I think it's 32 count, all the floss that is needed, and then this is the Frankenstein bow that honestly, I was so taken with the jack-o'-lantern that I didn't even realize that that bow was on there, and they had the bow too. And I'm like, yeah, all my money, just all of it. And then this design, the design was free. It was a freebie in our packet. And this will be, I think they said a year, and then this will be out. Hopefully you will see it stitched long before then. And you can be anticipating picking up your own copy of that. Then I found 'Tis Near Halloween. This is a Lila Studio little pattern. They had this stitched up. They had the, because this didn't catch my attention until I saw it stitched up on the fabric and sitting there. And of course they had the thread pack. They had the fabric in 32 count. I'm like, yep, sign me up, take all my stuff. So happy about that. Then this one did not have any of the things, but I love it, from Lila Studios. And I think there is a second one of these that, there's another 4 of these somewhere. I have not researched it. Gary didn't have them in person, but this was in, I think these are the newest ones. So I loved those. Would be super fun to stitch up. Then we went to the shop. So those were all in the annex. Oh, well, let me show you this. I did get this from the annex as well. Fabrics by Stephanie. This is Caramel Macchiato, 28 count. So love, love, love. Good basic neutral. So can't ever go wrong with that. Then when we went down to the shop, I got from Silver Creek Samplers, Spruce It Up, because you know me and a good Christmas tree. Can't resist that. I have loved this for a long time. It just looks fabulous. So, I don't know, it may take me a while to stitch this, but I thought, let's go ahead and get it. Let's get it in my stash. And then this one, I have a feeling will maybe be started, maybe this year. And that is the Barba Anna Designs, Spooky Tree. Gary stitched this. This was, again, there's lots and lots of models that are stitched and hung up. If you watch them, he has stitched this himself. He stitched it on a green gingham. I was far enough away, I couldn't even tell it was a green gingham. I could just see that it was green. And it caught my attention because those whites and those oranges popped off the green. And so I'm like, I need that. And so I went and found it. And he's like, yeah, I don't have the green gingham. I have purple gingham, but there's purple down here. And he's like, you may have to change that. And I'm like, no, I need it on green. So he did have, I'm looking to see. Oh, did I take it out of the thing and I didn't? Anyway, I don't know what it is. He had some green fabric and I'm like, yes, please. I will stitch that on the green fabric. So, and apparently I took it out of the plastic. And so I don't even know what kind or what size. I think it was a 32, but that's okay. We're going to stitch it on the green. And, you know, it's a handful of threads that I probably already have. I could probably get that started right away, maybe for Halloween spooky season. So that would be great. Let me grab these. If you guys know me, you've seen all my stuff. Most of it has a grime guard. So I got some more grime guards because you can never have enough. I got an 11 by 11, 2 11 by 17s, and my very favorite, which I wish they would have had more of these, but they didn't, 17 by 17. I don't stitch on a 17 by 17, but I'll tell you what, sometimes, like in this example, a lot of what you're doing is you're wrangling fabric because, you know, I stitch big projects. And so with a 17 by 17, you're able to wrangle fabric and it doesn't seem to pull it quite so much. I think this one is an 11 by 17. So, you know, I could keep it so it's not quite so taut with a 17 by 17. So I will give that a try. So I picked that up. So those got picked up. I think the majority of those came from the store. And I also from the store bought, because you know my love of Ronny's bags, I got this sweet little Halloween pumpkin situation with this gorgeous fabric inside. I think this was recently a fabric or a bag of the month, and they had a couple extra. So, and you know me and my love of the big bag, so I got that. And then I had alluded to having won 2 raffle prizes. Here was the first one, sweet little bunnies, and absolutely this makes me laugh inside. Look at the carrots. Love them, love them, love them. So I got a smaller little Easter, and then this is fantastic. Look at that. I won a big bag. So happy. And it had the nice green inside. So that is where the majority of my tickets landed. So you could kind of choose where you wanted to put your raffle tickets. So lots and lots of good stuff. Probably more than I had intended, but hey, I am, I don't get to very many shops, and I wanted to support Gary and Ronny at their shop. So, okay, that is pretty much it. It was a wonderful, wonderful retreat. If you have an opportunity, if there's one close, if you can travel, by all means. I highly recommend theirs. It's easy transportation to and from. You fly into a regional airport, so it's not very big. There are shuttles that go from the airport to the hotel. You never have to leave the hotel. You can leave the hotel. They have food there, but you can leave. Everything is within walking distance. All the restaurants we went to were within walking distance. I rented a car so that we could go the hour and a half down to Ozark, Alabama to Gary and Ronny's shop. And I absolutely recommend, if you have not been there, to stop in. So I think I told you at the beginning that I would put the brag table video here at the end. I'm also going to show you what their store looked like. And I love this because, if you guys have been Ronny and Gary fans at all, you know that Ronny rides his electric bike back and forth, and he happened to be at the shop later that afternoon, and I got a picture of his electric bike outside the shop. So, alrighty, well, that wraps it up for today. As I told you guys earlier, it'll be 3 weeks till I'm back. But hopefully everybody will keep stitching those big things.